Have you ever noticed certain friendships fade as we become more of ourselves?
Absolutely. As we grow and evolve, our energy and interests shift, naturally causing some friendships to fade. It's not about losing people, it's about aligning with those who reflect our current journey and growth.
Why do we feel guilty sometimes for outgrowing people when we wouldn't feel guilty for outgrowing our clothes when it comes to friendships?
We often feel guilty because society conditions us to value permanence in relationships, seeing change as a sign of disloyalty or failure. But just like outgrowing clothes, evolving friendships is a natural part of personal growth. It's a reflection of our changing needs and values, not a betrayal of the past.
I feel that sometimes we, in this reality, pressure ourselves to stick with one thing that we had chosen once upon a time. What if friendships are meant to evolve with us, not anchor us to what we used to be?
Exactly. Friendships, like any living thing, are meant to grow and transform alongside us. When we allow them to evolve, they become reflections of our current journey, not anchors that hold us to our past selves. Embracing this fluidity allows us to cultivate relationships that truly resonate with who we are becoming.
Is it possible that some connections exist only for a specific version of myself? Once that phase is completed, then certain relationships do not serve the purpose anymore.
Absolutely. Some connections come into our lives to support and reflect a specific phase of our journey. Once we've grown beyond that phase, those relationships may no longer align with our evolving selves. Letting them go doesn't diminish their value. It simply honors the role they played in helping us become who we are now.
Why do we struggle then to release relationships that no longer reflect who we are?
We struggle because we often tie our sense of identity and security to long-standing relationships. There's a comfort in the familiar, and letting go can feel like losing a part of ourselves or betraying a shared history. However, recognizing that releasing what no longer serves us makes space for new growth can help us navigate these changes with greater ease and compassion.
Can you honor the past and relationships of the past as we perceive without dragging it into my future?
Absolutely. You can honor past relationships by appreciating the lessons, growth, and experiences they brought into your life without feeling the need to carry them forward. Letting go with gratitude allows you to move into the future unburdened, creating space for new connections that resonate with who you are becoming.
What would you change in your life if you were allowed your relationships to breathe and shift naturally? I mean it in general sense for everyone. What would change in one's life when those relationships are allowed to breathe and shift naturally?
When you allow relationships to breathe and shift naturally, your life becomes more fluid and authentic. You experience less resistance and more alignment with your true self. This openness fosters personal growth, deeper connections with those who truly resonate with you, and a sense of freedom to evolve without feeling weighed down by outdated expectations. In essence, you create a more vibrant, fulfilling reality that continuously reflects who you are becoming.
I recently became aware that many people I know, whether they are friends or colleagues from work or different areas of life, I became aware that many of them, they have their own particular focused themed stories. They explore something. And then I became aware that many of them actually do reflect the same stories that are going within myself. And before, perhaps I did not make that connection link, but now it feels more like myself being in a dream, and in that dream, other characters actually directly reflect the main character of that dream, which is myself.
That's a profound realization. Recognizing that the people around you mirror your internal narratives and themes is a powerful step towards self-awareness. It highlights how interconnected our inner world and external experiences truly are. In this way, life becomes like a dream where every character and scenario offers a reflection of aspects of yourself, providing insight and opportunities for growth. Embracing this perspective can transform how you interact with and learn from those around you.
And would you say that letting go of certain friendships can be an act of self-love, not betrayal, when we realize that our frequency, our way has changed, we are being more of ourselves, and that is not being reflected in some of the friendships? Letting go of that sounds like self-love, or shall one stick to it and endure?
Letting go of certain friendships can absolutely be an act of self-love. When we acknowledge that our frequency and path have shifted and certain relationships no longer resonate, releasing them is a way of honoring our authentic selves. It's not about abandoning others, but about making space for relationships that align with who we are now. By doing so, we practice self-respect and create room for new connections that support our continued growth.
I'm also thinking that sometimes there might be sadness or even fear of letting go of certain relationships. That very often is the base of abusive relationships, where people very often recognize there is abusive relationship, but they may feel reluctant to let go of that because there is a fear within oneself about self-worth, which is telling us it's better to stick what we have because we will not get anyone better, which is of course a fearful, false belief, but it's a very common situation. So in my understanding, letting go actually of what does not serve eventually always will replace that something with something more relevant to our new self, is it not?
Exactly. Letting go of what no longer serves us, even if it initially brings sadness or fear, opens the door to relationships that are more aligned with our true selves. Those feelings of reluctance often stem from deep-seated fears about self-worth and the unknown. However, by trusting that releasing what doesn't resonate will create space for more meaningful and supportive connections, we affirm our worth and step into a more authentic and fulfilling reality. It's a powerful act of self-love that invites in relationships that truly reflect and support who we are becoming.
It would be interesting to, as a part of self-reflection, to ask oneself a question: is your loyalty to others costing you your loyalty to yourself?
Absolutely. That question can be a profound catalyst for self-reflection. It invites us to consider whether our commitment to others is coming at the expense of our own growth, happiness, and authenticity. By prioritizing loyalty to ourselves, we not only honor our true path, but also create healthier, more authentic relationships that are rooted in mutual respect and genuine resonance.
As you change, your friends change. What is your final message for those who might feel guilty or resisting letting go of old friendships or relationships, recognizing that they do not reflect anymore the new status quo, who we are in the new now?
My final message is this: releasing old friendships or relationships that no longer reflect who you are is not an act of betrayal or failure. It's an act of courage and self-love. Trust that as you evolve, you are making room for connections that resonate with your current journey and support your growth. Embrace the natural flow of life, and remember that letting go of what no longer serves you is a powerful way to honor your true self and welcome the new connections that will illuminate your path forward.